Shalom. First, want to call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kudash. The blessings to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the Akim pushing this word in sincerity and truth. This is the Akazak from James, Jamaica, coming to you with another lesson, hopefully edifying and uplifting. Alright, so this lesson will be on, basically the new covenant, right? Excuse me. So okay. Right, so yeah, the basically the new covenant, which was made with our forefather, between our forefather, Abraham, down to Isaac, down to Jacob, and to the 12 patriarchs, right? The 12 tribes of Israel, who to whom pertained, the adoption, all of that according to the scriptures, according to Romans 9 chapter, going down. All right, so basically the new covenant, is where we basically are going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments written on our insides. You know what I mean? Now let's show. We just a small revelation where come to me, nothing deep, nothing too fancy, right? So we're gonna, cause as it says in Hebrews 8, there was fault with the first covenant. Now we're gonna show this. All right, so Deuteronomy 28:1, it says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." All right. Next verse is verse 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Right? So yeah, so there we go. There we have the balance. Hearken and adhere to the laws, statutes, commandments, and we'll be blessed. We'll be above all nations of the earth. On the other hand, don't hearken, disobey, and guess what? Curses are gonna come upon us. Before we go further, we have a next precept, right? So this is Deuteronomy 30 and verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to pass," right? Let's hold on to that. Keep that in mind. It says, "It shall come to pass," right? It says, "When all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee." Right? Going back again from the top, it says, "It shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse." Right? So take note. It says that when the blessing and the curse shall come upon thee, meaning say, oh look, basically it's saying that look, it's foretold that we will face the curses and we will face blessings. We will face blessings and we'll face curses, right? And if you really follow the history, follow our people, right? We've been going to the balance, the duality, right? We've been blessed and we've been cursed, right? We have time periods where we are blessed, we run things, and there we have time periods where we are cursed because we go off. You know what I mean? Note King David's reign, King Solomon's reign, right? Compared to the time of compared to the time of the Maccabees when we go off, right? Compare that with compare that with even in Jerusalem when we go off. Seen 70 AD, I should say, right? When we go off, you know what I mean? And when we go off, we basically get put under the curses. And when we now go off, when we are adhere to the laws, statutes, and commandments, we're blessed still, right? And that is the duality, right? Seen. However, all of that, all of the whole cycle will come to an end. You know what I mean? Which right now we have faced the ultimate curse, right? The ultimate curse, cause according to Second Thessalonians, there was a great falling away, meaning we basically fall away from the truth, we fall away from everything, we whole identity. Seen. Therefore, we're gone into the curses again, because if we not follow the laws, them, that means that we are go off. And if we are go off, that means that we are going to be cursed. Hence, we come over here in the transatlantic slave trade, the southern kingdom, right? The northern kingdom was already over on this side, but guess what? Them end up take part in a captivity as well, right? Going back to Jeremiah 50 and 33, it says Israel and Judah were oppressed together, right? And here over on this side is where we got oppressed together, where we were enslaved together. Seen? But ultimately, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is gonna deliver us, which is a part of the ultimate blessing what we are wait upon, right? And then which it has already started, the fulfillment of the second covenant. This is Hebrews 8. Alright, this is Hebrews 8 and verse 8. It says, "For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh." Right? So basically we go off from the whole agreement of keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? We go off from all of that. Hence, we'll go through the once we go through blessings, we go through curse. We go through blessing, we go through curse. You know what I mean? That was basically one of the biggest faults with the first covenant, You know what I mean? It was not being kept. See, we never keep our end of the bargain, right? But now, in this dispensation of time, you know what I mean, wherein our salvation is nearer than when we believed. Best believe that. You know what I mean? In this dispensation of time, the new covenant has already begun. So like, yeah, right? As it say in Joshua, we are rehearse the righteous acts. Seen? So like, yeah. Alright. So no, not Joshua. Judges 5 and 11. You know what I mean? See, they were delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts. Right? So like, yeah, just I read a small excerpt of the precept. Scene. So yeah, we basically rehearse the righteous acts. You know what I mean? Which is basically keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. See, however, we can't do it fully. We can't do it completely. seen, but we rehearse it to the best of our ability. You know what I mean? But ultimately, once that that great blessing fall in our laps, yo, seen, that's when we are gonna be able to rehearse. Need to rehearse. We are gonna actually can do the laws perfectly. You know. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna continue the scripture. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. And if you notice, it says the house of Israel, it not say house of Israel and the house of Judah. You know what I mean? Because then we will be one. We will be one house again, yo. You know what I mean? We'll no longer be split, right? As a matter of fact, the whole one of the biggest significances of us being out there in the highways and the byways is bringing the 12 tribes back together as one. You know, hence we have the 12 tribes sign, seen according to Ezekiel 37. You know what I mean? One stick for Judah, one stick for Israel. Bring them together, they shall become one stick in thine hand. Just to paraphrase. Again, continuing, I will make with for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. Yeah, and what does it mean to have the laws in our minds and in our hearts? Literally, become the laws literally are gonna become second nature to us. Just like how you know if you brush your teeth at morning time. Just like how you know if say you eat when you're hungry. Just like how you know say if you bathe. Right? It are gonna become second nature, yo. Right? It not gonna be a case where you're not gonna be tempted. In other words, see, you're not gonna be tempted, because with temptation you're liable to go off. You can pass it and you cannot pass it. See, but with the new covenant we won't be tempted anymore, yo. Right? It says, and I will again I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And ultimately, you're not gonna find we go through no curses again. You know what I mean? We're not gonna go through no curses anymore, yo. Seeing, because basically everything would be fulfilled, right? There would no there as okay. Yeah. See, so yeah, as me I say, yo, ultimately we not go through no more curses, yo. See, because we are going to actually be able to keep the new covenant, yo. Right? So you're not going to find we are going through blessing and curse and blessing and curse all over again, yo. This is the end of it. This is the end of the cycle. Right? We are the final stages of this curse where we are going through, yo. You know what I mean? And the ultimate blessing is coming, yeah? Starting with the first covenant, right? Then we're gonna see deliverance. No, Salakia. Starting with deliverance, and we're gonna see the second covenant. You know, we're gonna see the fall our enemies, right? We are gonna see we are gonna have power, yo. We are gonna be gods. We are gonna be gods according to the scripture, yo. Seeing, according to the precepts. Seeing, as a matter of fact, and according to our name as well, Israel, from the Hebrew word Yasharallah, right? Which break it down here. Yah is he, Shar is prince, and Allah literally mean power, right? He, prince, power, right? He, prince of God, right? And it's with God, thou shalt have power with God. Right? Just paraphrasing the the incident between Jacob and the angel, right? That one its precept. The blessing and the curse. Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Hey, the so okay. So yeah, the spirit brought it to an end right here. Don't remember if we have more preset, but hopefully so far what was brought out was edifying and uplifting, to anybody will basically did a watch or a listen. Yeah, so until the next one, more give our praises again to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the Akim, pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Until the next one, once a shalom now. Let's go.